J. Edgar Hoover. Hey everybody, SmallgGay. I just saw J. Edgar, and I didn't know what to think about the movie before going in. I had been looking forward to it a great deal, but then the reviews came out and it got mixed reviews. Some of the reviews were so negative that I didn't, I didn't really have a desire to see it anymore after the reviews. And then Tammy Bruce saw it and talked about it on her show and said that she felt that the reviews were so negative because it offered a sympathetic portrait of J. Edgar Hoover. So with that in mind, I decided to go. And I'm really glad I did because I thought the movie was remarkable. And I was really surprised by the movie. Even though I had heard that this was not a traditional bio movie. My bird is really active because I'm home after going to the movies. So just put up with him in the background chatting and joining in. I knew that it was going to be about the emotional life of J. Edgar Hoover, but I didn't know that I would find it so moving myself. This movie has something to offend everybody, so naturally that's where I fit in. Conservatives hated it because it has such a positive view of a gay relationship. I think that the gay relationship in this film is one of the most positive gay-male relationships I've ever seen on film. And I've been studying gays in films since the 80s. I thought the relationship was so beautifully done. Whereas the leftists were angry that J. Edgar Hoover wasn't humiliated enough, or that we didn't see the Red Scare or see him, ordering the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Whatever conspiracy theories they see him in. Also, something else that I'm sure that they really hated, which I really loved, was the fact that this is the first movie that I've seen, in the modern era where communists are portrayed as terrorists. The communists and the anarchists of the 1920s are portrayed as anarchists in this movie. As violent terrorists, as murderers, as bombers. And we see what fuels J. Edgar Hoover's anti-communism and patriotism, which I thought was wonderful. And I'm sure that a lot of people on the left couldn't take facing that reality, that communists in this country were killers. And it's very matter of fact. As you know, most of you probably know, the movie covers the life of J. Edgar Hoover from the 1920s, although there are flashbacks even earlier. But basically from the 1920s until his death in the early 1970s. And it kind of goes back and forth in time over those periods, over the period of his life. And it focuses on a few specific FBI cases, most notably the Lindbergh baby kidnapping is covered in great detail. And there are those moments where they deal with these specific legendary FBI cases. But for the most part, this is not a story about the FBI per se, it's a story about J. Edgar Hoover. So again, a lot of people are put off by that. We see the incredible relationship with his mother, the power of being raised by a Christian mother. Judi Dench is amazing, as you would expect. And we kind of see the conflict that so many conservatives have in dealing with what many of us perceive as an immoral and evil world. I'm certainly not as bad as J. Edgar Hoover. I do have friends and I do go on dates. But I found myself identifying with him a great deal. And I was really quite surprised by that. The film even deals with the transvesticism. And it is dealt with in such a intimate, humane, and understanding way, a sensitive way, wherein you really understand his need to dress up in a woman's dress. It's so intimate and humane. I thought it was remarkable. My jaw was on the floor because I was so moved by it. Again, this movie is for a very small audience. I thought, I don't know what all to tell you. I'm so excited by the movie. He basically has two prime relationships in his life. With his secretary, Helen Gandy, Miss Gandy, played by Naomi Watts, amazingly. I didn't even realize it was Naomi Watts. She's like a chameleon. She does such a remarkable job. And with his lover, his life partner, Clyde Tolson, who was always said to be an incredible Adonis. And Armie Hammer, who plays him, is just that. He's breathtakingly beautiful. And the performance is terrific. Here's the other surprise. I actually like Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. I've always thought that Leonardo, while being really beautiful as a young man, would turn into James Cagney as he got older. And we're seeing that happen. But I find that I like him better this way. I find that I like him better as the kind of ugly, pug-faced, middle-aged man that he's turning into. So again, I was surprised. And the other thing I really liked about Leonardo's performance is that it's a real let it bleed, throw yourself into the role kind of performance. I never thought I'd say that about Leonardo DiCaprio. There's a lot of talk about him getting the Academy Award or getting at least a nomination. I think all three of the leads should get nominations myself. We'll see. Last year, if you follow my blog, you know that I predicted the Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress and Best Actress last year. So we'll see what happens. I think he's definitely going to get a nomination, and I think that this movie could well get nominated for Best Picture if they're fair, if they look at it with an open mind. I think that it could possibly get a nomination for Best Picture. This movie is a must for homocons. I had this thrill watching this movie. I had a thrill knowing that Tolson and Hoover were attracted to each other as they're going out on these G-Man raids. It was like gay heroes. Gay superheroes. And to cap it all off, Helen Gandy was an independent career woman. The Naomi Watts character was an independent career woman, and it's implied tastefully that she was lesbian. So you have this group of gay and lesbian friends who are basically keeping the country safe from communism. I think that Eastwood is so advanced, politically and emotionally, that he could find that place where you're just kind of amazed that gay people are keeping the country together. You know, that's a message that nobody really wants out there. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people had a problem with this film. I love the look of the movie. It's dark. It's got that 30s, 40s edge that I like right now a lot, mixed in with almost a gothic edge. everything is cool and cold and hyper-masculine. As I said, Tolson is filmed like a god often. I mean, he's filmed with the sun on his face, and he just seems to be like this ray of beauty in Hoover's life. I'm not going to give away the ending, but there are elements in the ending. I mean, I found myself with tears in my eyes, because you know I'm a big softie anyway. But for this film that's all about denial and repression and secrets, to see the ending is like a rush of Hoover's emotional landscape, of his emotional life, the physical reality of his emotional life, and it's handled with such dignity, and suddenly everything makes sense. And you realize that this man took his emotional life really seriously, and that everyone around him really mattered to him, really mattered in a profound way. And I was moved. I was moved, honestly. I can't think of a better way to end this about any review. I was moved by the movie. SmallgGay.